It's a Friday. No football this weekend unless you're betting on the Pro Bowl. Although, did the Pro Bowl happen?
I don't know. Josh Allen decided to just go to Pebble Beach, so I love Josh Allen for that decision.
We saw skills competition. Yeah, Tyler Huntley apparently was, slinging it around during the skills competition.
Really?
Yeah, and Derek Carr.
I saw those highlights and I was like, wait a second, did I miss the Pro Bowl? I was going to get –
Said no one ever.
Well, that's the thing, right? I was going to get as upset as the person who's mad that James Harden was snubbed so that they can be upset about it at the time of the game. They won't even be watching the All-Star game by the time James Harden gets in. Rah! So I had to be upset about something. So I figured, what? Did I miss the Pro Bowl? We don't have football.
No.
We are on – now we're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday here. So depending on when the show comes out, etc., you may still be able to get in on this. But there is – I threw something out ahead of day 2 at Spyglass for one individual that I wanted to get your thoughts on here.
Go ahead. I got one too.
Well, maybe I'll do that now since by the time somebody's watching this, it may only be like 1 minute or 2 minutes before the guy tees off. This was a young guy that we've talked about a little bit on this show, and just last year he had that little stretch, including the U.S. Open, where I think it was a top 10. Nick Hardy on Spyglass today. I took him 3 times over. One of those plays was the lowest score. Because, look, if you like him to lead after round 2 or make a push or anything like that, today would be a day. So I took him as the low score at Spyglass today, Nick Hardy.
Wow, that's the toughest of the 3 venues.
It is.
And that figures into a play that I'm going to give you. But I like the University of Illinois product, Nick Hardy. He's a good player. But I'm going with Keith Mitchell, who went 5 under yesterday at Spyglass. And I'm taking him in a top 10 at -120. I think that's stealing now.
Well, he's at 8 right now with a couple of other guys there. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the last time you fired live on Keith Mitchell, friend, it did not work. And I know that
when was that?
I failed it.
When was that?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
I like it. Look, anytime you have a multiple course event and you get through the difficult one,
right, and
you accomplish something, right? Like if you played the North course last and you played the South course 2 days,
at
right?
Torrey, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I like the strategy. I'm just busting your balls because Mitchell busted last time.
I love Mitchell, though. I'm a kind of a fanboy of Keith Mitchell.
I like it. I like it. But, by the way, if anybody out there tailed I wanted to see how bad it was. If anybody out there tailed the Kiz, ain't looking good.
What was he, like 4 over yesterday?
Yeah.
They're
actually a couple. Now, look, it's a 3-day event.
You bailed on him, though, didn't you? Didn't you get out of that bet? I thought you bailed on it just before.
I think I put a sprinkle on top 20.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Look, that's all. A lot of people bet Van Ruyen and,
EVR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that went for him, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this tournament. Keith Mitchell live play, Nick Hardy live play. Do as you like, whatever you like with that. Now, did anything change since Wednesday with the football, with the whole Super Bowl NFL stuff? Matt?
I added a little play onto my slate, and
why? I'm just curious because you have to gamble and there's no football, right? Not because you found some crazy angle. Let's be honest.
Well, actually, this one, if you're playing your kicking prop, this one we could go hand in hand and get a double cash on this one. So I'm going to be taking each team to score 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in each half of the game. Right, so 10 points from the Eagles and Chiefs,
300, 500?
plus 1,700.
Wow,
that's interesting.
The value of that, for value wise, I really find that interesting. 1 touchdown and 1 field goal for these teams. I don't know. It's under the Super Bowl specials on FanDuel. I really liked it, and I couldn't get my eyes away from that one specifically.
It jumped off the screen at him.
It did.
I tell you, it's not a bad. No, actually, you can't work it as a hedge. You can't work it as a middle. Here's my question: did you see anything that's just 1+ touchdown each? You know what else? What about I'm just trying to think if there's a way that we can play Mats and then maybe a hedge, a three-way hedge, if we can create that even for the Super Bowl. The one would be looking at that field goal prop that Matt mentioned, where it's one field goal each in the first half. That's going to be plus money. So you have that. Then you have Matt's play.
I love that.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now on BetMGM because it's the only place you'll find that prop. And I don't believe. Oh, wait. Last time it wasn't up there. It is now. Will each team score one or more field goals in the first half? All right, so I'm going to lock that in. That's at plus 155. Okay?
Classic.
Now, Matt's play is one touchdown on top of my play.
Yep.
Right, in each half.
Is there a play that says 1+ touchdown in each half or in each quarter?
Yes. Both
What's
teams
that?
to score in every quarter, plus 750. Now, this doesn't even say field
Touchdown,
goal or
field goal.
touchdown.
Right, it
Yep,
doesn't
just
matter.
Score.
Could be a safety.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's going to be hard to shut either of these teams' offenses out in a quarter. The only thing you get is like, a turnover, a slow start, something, and it's like, 2 minutes left or 1:20 left in the first or third quarter.
And then it carries over into the next quarter.
Exactly.
They score on the first play.
Right.
That's happened to me.
Right. Yes, I'm sure. It's a terrible way to
It
lose.
really is.
But now you got my interest peaked here.
Cool. Let's ride.
Yeah, I'm getting in on this right now because I think it's going to go up. And that's Pacheco rushing and receiving yards over 67.5 at minus 115.
Classic. I mean, the guy is so explosive. They're going to need him.
Yeah.
If they want to open up Patty Mahomes whatsoever, they're going to need the run game to be relevant in
Especially
this as well.
with all these injuries at wide receiver that they've got. I mean, Hardman is probably not going to play, according to what I saw yesterday. Smith-Schuster didn't practice yesterday. I know it's early, but he has a knee issue. And Kadarius Toney has an ankle issue. He did not practice yesterday either. So I'm just thinking that Pacheco has been a featured player for Andy Reid down the stretch, and I don't think that's going to stop next week.
I agree. I wonder what is holding back money that comes on props, right? Like the average person who puts $1,000 on the Super Bowl as their lone bet or second or third bet of the year or 10,000, whatever it is, right? Some venture capitalist is like, I don't bet, but I'm sitting there. Let me put $1 million on the Chiefs, what have you.
Right.
I don't know, and I'm asking. I don't know if they're betting
Ahead of time.
Rush. No. My point being is, you're right. I don't think they are betting.
No.
I think that stuff comes in, but that same person, I don't think is savvy enough or even aware of a Pacheco prop, let alone a Pacheco Russian receiving prop.
Right.
So I'm with you. Why hasn't that stuff moved? Because I feel like the people like us and the people that are smarter than us have already jumped on that stuff, right? Like now is probably the last day or two to do that,
like
Harry.
the PGFs of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm with you. I just wonder, does stuff come in late for props too, or is it just the sides and the totals? Because I'm with you. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. So you're saying like the guys who bet the day of the game that just are like, hey, I got to have a bet on the Super Bowl. They're not savvy enough to go down the board a little bit and look at a key prop or like a Boston Scott anytime touchdown at plus 425, which I like as well.
Yep.
You're just saying that they're going to bet the coin toss. They're going to bet, the side or the total only.
I think it's all right. Let's draw a line here. All right. So side, total, coin toss, MVP.
Gatorade.
Yeah, Gatorade. I think. Yeah.
Length of the national anthem.
Yeah, but I
kind of
don't
stuff.
know. Do you think the same person who's just throwing $1,000 on the Eagles or Chiefs is also betting the color of the Gatorade, the coin toss? Like, I think that's for more of us, where it's like we never bet on the coin toss or crazy shit. Why don't we do that? Again, I'm at like, I think an MVP or an anytime touchdown is more of a casual bet than Pacheco Russian receiving yards combined.
Okay. I'm with you.
So
Right.
I think you found a good spot here that's probably going to be, if anything, untouched or, to your point, move in the wrong direction.
Move up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because people are going to recognize
It ain't going
This-
down.
No.
No.
That's my point. And I'm glad you brought that up, because the whole point of this is like the side has moved a bunch, the total has moved a bunch. That's crazy money. That's not just that's absurd money. If this moves, it's going to be Pacheco. It's going to be as a result of somebody coming in with some sharp money.
Right.
And it's not going to be a crazy lunatic with $10,000 saying, well, give me the under and let that thing drop,
Right.
4 or 5 points.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles, that line moving from 2.5 to 1.5, that's a lot of money.
Right. And
Yeah.
it could be Mattress Mac doing a promo.
Right. It could be.
It could be, it could be somebody at base.
It could be Phil Mickelson.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly right.
Wayne
Exactly
Gretzky's wife,
You never know.
Yep.
You never know. I love it, man. All right, so we're locked in here. There's a couple of good ones. Now, do you have anything else?
Not
on
on the
this
football
game.
game.
Not
yet.
on the football
No.
game for me. Okay.
But I was saying just about the game to Matt before you jumped on,
Yes.
before we went live, that there's one thing I can be sure of in this game, and that's Andy Reid will have some sort of a plan. It may not work, but he's going to have a plan for Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, I mean, I took Jones and Reddick at 50-1 each at the MVP spot. I'm interested to see if that's the case, Harry, if somebody else has themselves a game. Like, do you think Andy Reid has no choice but to, like, do you think they'll forget about Brandon Graham, right? Or like Javon Hart? I don't know, somebody
Josh Sweat, you can't.
Right,
it's
right.
three strip sacks, right? Because they forgot to but yeah, I mean, I almost feel like Reddick and Jones are the equivalent of Mahomes and Hurts to bet on. Like, everybody's betting on them.
Right.
What do you think that's going to impact the game, though?
Well, I mean, Hassan Reddick could still impact the game, but I'm just saying they're not going to come in there and let him rush free like San Francisco did.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking at his matchup. He's got Orlando Brown. This is a guy that we've seen, lower extremity injuries. He's had a lot of ankle, knee problems. And I feel like going up against somebody like Hassan Reddick with that explosiveness off the edge, I don't know, you're going to have to throw 2-3 guys on him. And at that point, can you afford to as a defense? I don't know. I do agree that they're going to attempt to stop him. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do it successfully.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. From a game standpoint, I think I'd be most shocked if these offenses were held to like 19
In
to
the
22
teens.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I saw 27-24 the other day on Twitter, 28-24,
Yeah.
things along those lines. I still think buying, and this is what I was going to mention before we hit the NBA and anything else on the way out, is I know I have a 6-1 Eagles ticket that I got. I'm tempted to buy up. I've talked to a couple of people who have already done that. Walter Football, our guy, right? Walt. He's doing it, right? So buying up so long as you have the Eagles futures ticket, buying the Chiefs at +3.5 and banking on what we've seen with history where 14% at 3, that number shoots up. It's over 20% of games will land on 3 or less when the spread is 3 or less. So, this is crazy, right? When you look at how often games like that, I don't know. I think it's worth it if you have a futures ticket. If you don't have a futures ticket, the only side/total I think I'm going to play, and I haven't done it yet, I was going to wait, is just go over the total. So long as the total's less than 51.
Right.
I have one more.
What is it,
that
50.5 right now or something?
Yeah, but it was in the 40s.
Right. It was
Days
49.5 or something. Yeah.
I think it was like 48 at one point.
Was it really?
Yes.
Wow.
I have to go back and check Shapiro.
I have one more that I was looking at, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And this is the score of the game to be a score that we have seen in previous or past Super Bowls before. And I wasn't intrigued just in general, but then I saw, yes, it will be a score that we've seen before for +470. And I feel like there've had to be repeat scores. This is just something I'm seeing on the fly. So I don't know if there've been, say in the past 10 seasons, have we seen a repeat score? But for +470 and then -630 on no, I feel like there's got to be a little bit, a little bit of lean or sprinkle towards that, yes.
I would say
So
yes.
it's 2 straight scores.
No, this was the outcome of the game to be a same score as a Super Bowl in
Like
past
31-27 or something,
Yup.
And
so that was the Super Bowl 26 score,
right.
something like that.
What's the term? There's that term. There's the website out there.
The scoregami.
Scoregami, right. So you're saying that you're betting against a Super Bowl scoregami.
Well, but a scoregami, essentially, I guess you could say that. A scoregami is a score we've never seen before, ever.
That's
so
what you're but a Super Bowl version of a scoregami is what you're saying.
Yes. And, well, yes.
You're betting whether or not a score has happened in the Super Bowl.
I'm going to say it will, yes.
Okay.
For plus 470, I believe that we're going to get a similar or the same outcome as we've seen in previous Super Bowls.
Got it. Okay.
I'm just thinking value-wise. Like some of these, it could be just, quarter, half a unit plays, nothing too crazy, especially with a lot of these plus money ones. But I feel like it's worth the value, and I feel like with them throwing out so many props, there will be a few that you could pick and choose, especially being plus money that you could get in on. So
well, this is one that it won't be. It's not going to be 16-13 like it was in 1971 when the Colts beat the Colts. Who they beat? Dallas? Yeah, they beat Dallas 16-13.
Man, go back and look at some of the higher scoring Super Bowls. What you're working against are key numbers. And what I'd be really interested to see is over the last 20 years. Now, look, Harry's right, but I mean, my God, if you got burned in the ass because Bart Starr's Ice Bowl or whatever the hell it was, came back. I think that was actually the NFC Championship game, not the Super Bowl. But whatever, right? Whatever stupid, rest in peace, not Len Dawson. Who was the coach up at the Chiefs?
Oh,
coach?
Hank Stram.
Right.
Yeah.
If you had to hang, they're killing me out there, one of these crazy Super Bowl 4 scores.
See, there's a lot of weird scores in the Super Bowl, too. Like Green Bay won 31-25 over Pittsburgh. Or, you had 27-23 is kind of a common score. And 34-31 is a common type score. 43-8, it's not going to be like that. But I mean,
I'm actually looking the route of the highest ones, the highest Super Bowl scores we've ever seen, and then working my way down from there.
Well, the Eagles Patriots was one of the highest score, 41-33.
Yes. That's actually the second highest of all time.
Is it? I figured it had to be up there.
The number one is the Niners and Chargers in 95 with Steve Young MVP combining for 75 points.
Right.
Wow.
But I see a lot of scores at the same time that I do like. You have 2013 Ravens Niners 34-31. Then you have, 2017 Patriots Falcons 34-28. So there's a couple of these on this list in between that I'm liking.
I'll
for
tell
the value of it.
I bet the reason why it's favored to the no is because typically there's been a lot of blowouts in Super Bowls.
Yep.
You're not going to see it's not going to be 52-17 like it was when Dallas beat Buffalo, for instance.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes, I think you're right. You're going to see.
It's going to be close.
But remember, what was that? Was it 13-3?
Yeah, the Patriots. Yeah,
that's a throwback score right there.
That was awful.
I mean, here's the thing. If the books were truly going to just make everything back and then some, this would be a 17-13 football game where neither Patrick Mahomes nor Jalen Hurts does anything more than throw for one touchdown. Right? Like everybody's expecting fireworks, Mahomes to throw a couple, Hurts to throw a couple.
Hurts only threw for 100 and some odd yards last week.
Yep. And you know what? That's actually one of the reasons.
In all the touchdowns.
That's one of the reasons I looked at Reddick for the MVP and why I said to Aton that we should hop on at plus 5,000 because, you get another one of these games where Hurts isn't awful, but he's not spectacular throwing the ball all over the place. You look, Hassan Reddick was the MVP of that last week's game.
Right.
So I like that angle too.
Yep.
Ooh, all
right.
What do we have elsewhere here?
NBA.
Boy, I tell you, man, the NBA, I get in at 8 a.m. yesterday at plus 12.5 I put it out on the Discord. It was at 12. I'm thumping and I should have known better because I was on the right side of this in Cleveland weeks ago. And then what happens? Everybody's playing except Klay Thompson for the Warriors. That thing closed at 5.5. And I, like an asshole, went on Twitter and thumped my chest and said, I got 7 points of CLV. You know what CLV is? Bull fucking shit. All right? Right from the PGF. Just trust your positions. If you're on the right side, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong when the market closes. Win your bets.
Jeez.
God damn it. That's my rant. No Warriors bets for me for a little bit.
Well,
it's amazing, man. And people were all pissed off like, oh, I wish I got the 7:31 p.m. injury report, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter anymore in the NBA. Here I've been telling you for weeks, bet against line movement, and I got in ahead of time thinking I was right. I should have listened to my own advice.
How about that Atlanta-Utah game? Isn't that line short?
Hawks.
I'm on the Hawks, too. Plus
Yeah.
1.5 and plus 100 on the money line.
Yeah, take them on the money line.
Yeah.
You're not going to need that 1.5.
Right. That one jumped out at me. And
Everybody
the other one
for Atlanta. You know, you want a good one in this? Over 5.5 first quarter points for Darius Garland.
That's a great angle, actually, because he disappears second half always. That's been like a big story of his. That he can't close out games.
Wow.
So they go to Donovan Mitchell, and
I don't even know who Darius Garland is.
No. I'm sorry, it wasn't Garland, but God damn it, it was Dejounte Murray. But you're right on Garland. Garland is the play for first quarter, first half plays. I got my secondary scorers wrong on Atlanta and Cleveland. It's actually Dejounte Murray who I'd like over 5.5 at first. But it's a similar thing and not him disappearing. It's just so much is on Trae Young. And if it's Hunter or if it's somebody else that's in the front/wing, Murray's got a chance to get a couple of quick buckets. That's all I'm saying. But you're right on Garland, and we should come back to Garland when Cleveland's on the board.
And I like the Hawks, as we said. I like the Wiz tonight, -4 against Portland.
I don't.
You don't?
We're on opposite sides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I rode the hot hand to Damian Lillard, and we cashed that one the other night. He put up, I think, 45 again. The guy's flamethrowing.
So Washington is hot, and I get it. They've won 6 straight. Portland, though, I feel like is getting – if you didn't know Washington had won 6 straight, and Portland's put together a nice little stretch as well, this doesn't feel like a 4-point line. Feels like a 2.5 to 3-point line where Washington is. Now, nothing wrong with getting an extra bump, but my thought process in it, Harry, and again, I've been wrong many times, who knows? But my thought process is teams that are kind of in that 10-9 seed don't really go on like 9-10 game win streaks. They go on like 5 to 7 game win streaks. So I think that this is a chance for Portland to come in, and all I'm taking is 4. I'm not saying they're going to win outright, but I looked at it like I could benefit from a point on that spread. But look, maybe, well, I guess we have the same number, so we can't have it both ways. You had 4, not 3.5.
No, it was 4.
Okay, not 3.
And you know, the Wizards have been kind of laying around for a little while too, because their last game was postponed because of ice, right, against Detroit.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right,
no,
I got a couple picks.
I understand it. You're taking a hot team that could be on the precipice of moving up and out of the whole play-in scenario. I was on the opposite end because I thought it was more of a 2.5 to 3-point line, and it looked like there was some value getting an extra point. Again, over 3. If I had it at 1.5 and the spread was 2.5, I wouldn't play it. But 3 is that number where I would move over. That's all.
All right, tonight I'm rocking with Fred VanVleet over 30.5 points and assists for -113. This guy was just an all-star snub yesterday. Not only that, but he is actively in a lot of trade rumors. So I'm going off the angle of somewhat of a revenge game now, just being that, you look at his last game right as these rumors are coming out. 34 points, 9 assists. Or actually 10 assists, I'm sorry. And then before that, 9 assists with 24 points. So he's clearing this number relatively easily. 34.5 for him against the Rockets. Like we always say, going up against a bad defensive backcourt, this is where we want to take advantage. So 30.5, I feel pretty comfortable with this one. And then I'm going over to Joel Embiid tonight. And I'm sure you guys have been following. They have not been giving Joel Embiid his stats as of late. He's complaining on social media as well, and this is around the league. Draymond Green as well. They're not giving these guys their blocks and rebounds. So I'm going Joel Embiid tonight over 1.5 blocks against the Spurs. Not only does he dominate this matchup, in the paint size-wise, but also I think they might even give him a little extra edge, looking for these types of things. With the NBA breathing down their neck, making sure they have all these stats correct, I feel like we could even see, him get 3-4, just being that it's, they're focusing on that so much more. So for -110, I really like 1.5 blocks for Embiid tonight.
Over.
Over.
Yep.
Yeah, not bad. I like it, man. I like it. I actually, on my Odd Shopper video, I went over 3.5 for Van Vliet threes.
Okay.
But I love your narrative, by the way. The only thing I would add would be if you want to go full on like all-star snub stuff, I think people are expecting like this 30-point performance from James Harden. I went under in that game. It's 234.5 at the time when I looked at it. I think this is a game, a message that maybe the Sixers send, and it's not going to be let's put up 150 on the Spurs. It's let's win a game 112-88, suffocate a team, get the hell out of San Antonio, and still send a message like, I could see a 19-10-11 type night for Harden. I could see a 28-12-3 night for Embiid, something like that. Nothing. I don't think this is the message of let's score as many points. I don't know. It's hard like that in the NBA to do that on one night, especially in the middle of a road trip. So I'd go under on that.
Okay. And the Spurs, I mean, that's still Greg Popovich at the end of the day. They're bringing some type of defensive presence. So I like it.
Maybe.
I like it.
They're pretty bad too.
They are bad.
You don't have to justify it on the Spurs side, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we get out?
That's it.
I think I'm all good.
Lock in those plays, man. Field goal, touchdown. We got them all here. I love it. All right. Thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you on the other side here for Harry Mays at Harry Mays to you at Matt Cherico with the 0. I'm at Shander Show. I don't know where my name. I just noticed that my name is gone here. It's been gone for months and nobody said anything. Unbelievable. All right. We'll see you Monday.